Hi, on the show this week, a spread to help you rediscover your creativity. It's been snowing in Berlin for about 3 days solid, lightly snowing, and the snow has settled, and that's very pretty, but it gives a particular atmosphere, a sort of a hibernation atmosphere. I've just been finding it very difficult to think straight and just feeling tired quite a lot and low on energy. And then I wake up very early in the morning and I have a compulsion to work and get on and earn money and try and set everything up for that wonderful time when the lockdown ends and we all run around living our lives again. I got myself an Oracle deck the other day. I don't usually use Oracle decks, but I thought I should sort of look into it. So I got this, the Tao Oracle. I'll be reviewing it in a later show. And actually it's very good. It comes with a very, very thorough, sizable book. I suppose you could say it's a very good simplification of the I Ching, and it's the I Ching translated into cards. I've tried it and it works. I want to say while I'm here that I hate the box. I think it's absurd. Here's the deck, and then the deck comes in this box, which is actually, look, it's actually approximately 4 times the size, the volume of the deck. You could put 4 of these in here. So, you know, they're publishing the deck with the book. So they have to create this silly thing with a bit of plastic inside. And, you know, the deck goes in there, and then the book goes on there, and then the lid goes on there. But what you end up with is a box that's far too big, which you don't want, and no box for the cards, which you actually do want. So you have to go out and buy yourself a little bag. So it's absurd, and I put out an appeal. Please, please, manufacturers of tarot decks that come with books, don't do it. Just find another way. Publish them separately. Say, you know, I've published the cards and I've published a lovely book, but or tie them together with a piece of string or something. But please, please, no more of this, please. No more of this. It's not big, it's not clever, and it doesn't get us anywhere. And it's got plastic in it too. Look, a horrid bit of plastic. It's not mystical. It's not sensual, is it? It's not inspiring, is it? It's not organic, is it? It's just a horrid bit of plastic. I feel better now. These are very nice cards. I'll tell you about them later. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to basics today, and I'm going to do what I originally thought I was going to do with this series of tarot videos, which is to teach you lovely things. This week I thought I would pass on a spread, I suppose you could call it, a method, a tarot method, that seems to be going the rounds. It seems to be having its moment. It's fashionable, you could say. And it's the searching for lost things method or spread. Now, I don't mean searching for your house keys. That's a different matter, and there are tarot methods to find objects that are lost. But today we're going to be talking about qualities that are lost. Say a queer client comes to you and says, I have lost hope, or I have lost my way, or I have lost my motivation. It's a very open-ended question to bring to a tarot reading, and your normal tarot spreads don't seem to answer it. So what do we do? Well, first we agree on exactly what it is that's been lost. Then we find a card in the major arcana to symbolise the lost thing. If it was I have lost hope, where is my hope? We might pull out the star at this moment. I am taking requests on this week's show, and so I put a shout out on Facebook, and some people have written in with requests for me to read so that I can demonstrate this spread. Donna Smith says, how can I re-energise and find my motivation again while I'm at home? So energy and motivation has been lost. I'm getting magician for that. It could perhaps be chariot, could even be ace of rods, but let's not use minor arcana. How can I re-energise and find my motivation again? re-energize and find my motivation again while I'm at home. Actually, that's not a bad symbol. Re-energize. Judgment card, the card of resurrection, the card of rising up out of a stagnant situation. I'm going to use that for Donna. Okay, next step. Say Donna was here. We would agree that this judgment card is symbolizing Donna's, in a sense, lost energy and lost motivation. It's lost. So here's the pack. Here's the card. Open the pack, pop the card in, and shuffle. We ground ourselves, align ourselves a little bit, and then we ask, please help us to find Donna's lost energy and lost motivation. A little more shuffling. Okay, now I'm going to look through the pack for the judgment card. It's quite theatrical, this method. It's sort of got a sense of drama to it. There's always a pause while one searches through the pack. And now what we do is, when we've located the judgment card, we pull out of the pack the 5 cards that are clustering around, well, the 4 cards and the judgment card. So the 4 cards that are clustering around the judgment card, and we put them down. And we read the 5 cards. What I'm intuitively getting in at this moment is that I want to read the 2 cards on the left of the judgment card as one message, and the 2 cards on the right of the judgment card as one message. I want to read these as 2 possibilities that Donna has for rediscovering her energy and her motivation. The Hanged Man, I first want to note something very, very, very literal about that, which is that, Donna, I don't know how fit you are or what stage of life you're in. I haven't looked at your profile picture recently, but actually standing on your head is an extremely good thing to do, or handstands, or whichever safe yoga posture which does to some extent make the head lower down. It could even be something like downward dog or leaning over the edge of your bed. If you can get the blood rushing to your head, it's the holistic equivalent of a cappuccino. Sometimes reading tarot cards, we can be forgiven for being super, super literal. Okay, that's one suggestion. I've got a reversed strength card with this Hanged Man card. Now, the Hanged Man card wants us to let go, and strength is one of those virtues from the tarot pack, one of those old-fashioned virtues. It's fortitude. It's one of those cards where we improve ourselves, we deal with our emotions, we deal with our instincts, we look at ourselves, we rise above it all, we stop being egotistic, and we become very zen and good and highly evolved human beings. Now, it seems to me, if this is reversed, what I'm getting is, and we have the Hanged Man, what I'm getting is let go of that. Let go of this self-improvement. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't try to be too strong. It might be that you're fighting yourself a little bit. Okay, what's on the other side? We have the World, and we have a reversed 6 of Cups. What I'm getting is that it is not the past that is going to reward you at the moment. That phase of life before the lockdown is over. It is completed. It was fine and it had value, but the circle has closed. So I'm going to pull out this pack of oracle cards that I've just been complaining about so bitterly, and draw one card to unify that reading that I've just done for Donna about her energy and her motivation. And let's see if that card pulls together those 2 observations that we got from that reading. So I'm asking for an oracle card for Donna now. How can she re-energize and find her motivation while at home? Okay, I get splitting apart. And I'm looking through some of the keywords that the artist has put on this card, and I'm getting let go, surrender, eliminate the old. So let go and surrender, eliminate the old. All those things from the old world, the pre-corona world, anything from then that you might be clinging on to, have a look at it, have a look at your life through that lens and see if there's anything that can be let go of. And then allow the new lease of life, the rising up out of that stagnant situation, just to happen naturally. Just allow it to happen. Don't force it. Second example, Connie Lynn writes in, I am looking for my creativity. Okay, Connie, I've got a very creative pack for this question. It's the wonderful Hidden Message Tarot by Julian Pacot. And as I say, it oozes creativity. So we'll see if it can help us. I suggest for creativity, we use the Magician. So I'm going to look through the pack for the Magician, which, knowing the artist, will be some unexpected and rather wacky magician. And here is a truly fabulous magician in the Julian Pacot Hidden Message deck. Just need to make a quick note. So we found the Magician, we open the pack, we pop the Magician in, and we shuffle them up again. And we ask, Dear Universe, please help us to find Connie Lynn's creativity. This time I am going to only put down 3 cards. It's a slightly different balance. Just 1 card on either side of the Magician will do. We'll read it as a trio. And now, with great drama, we look through the pack to find the Magician, thinking to ourselves, where is Connie Lynn's creativity hiding? If it is hiding, Connie. I get the feeling it is slightly, but it's always there. And that's the nice thing about these spreads, that creativity is always there, hope is always there, energy is always there. Is it going to be the last card in the pack? That would be symbolic, wouldn't it? Ooh, almost the last, Connie. I've found it. We have on the left of the Magician the Page of Cups, and on the right we have the reversed 10 of Batons. Interesting. It's a similar kind of feeling to the reading that we just got for Donna. What I'm getting from a reversed 10 of Batons is a sloughing off, if you know what I mean, a taking off of a burden. 10 of Batons is a burden. It's a weight on your shoulders. It's when things that have been helpful in the past start to just be a bit of a pain. Good fortune that turns into a burden. That can again be routines from the past, roads you've gone down, skills you've acquired, relationships you've forged, processes that you've got into, situations that you've dug yourself into or constructed. And sometimes they can become a bit of a burden. So reverse 10 of Batons for me is very much about throwing off those burdens. The Page of Cups, particularly nice in the Hidden Message deck, is the page with the fish in the cup. And as you probably know, the fish is a messenger from the unconscious or the subconscious. And the Page of Cups is very much a bringer of this message from the subconscious. And for me, that feels like the world of dreams, the whole world of where we go when we stop thinking, when we're not being awake. Clearly, this is where creativity resides. Creativity comes from the unconscious. It comes from the world of dreams. And Julian Pacot has actually drawn the Page of Cups standing in the ocean. He has not got his feet on the ground. He's really waded out in there, and he's set up his office in the ocean. He seems very, very focused on this. He's got some kind of desk. He's very aware that there is this rather magical cup there with the rather magical fish, and he's making a calculation. And in a very dreamlike way, he's pointing to an empty part of the desk. You know, there should be something on the desk. There should be a plan or a picture, but he's just pointing to the desk itself, and he's concentrating on that. That's wonderful. That feels like a blank canvas. He's wearing a turban. He's very magical, this guy. And he's about to pull a rabbit out of a hat, if you like, or a fish out of a cup. He's about to come up with something creative. There's something light and humorous about all these images. And I think that also goes with what I'm seeing here. Keep it light. The new boy in my studio, the new toy in my studio is the Tau Oracle by, I have to say, Ma Diva Padma. And Connie, I'm going to pull those three cards together with one of the cards from the Oracle. So I'm going to ask the Oracle, please help Connie to find her creativity. Okay, very interesting. I've got standstill. I've got stagnation. I've got stalemate, grinding to a halt, insensitivity, mistrust, alienation. All these things, it's two people who have covered in snow in a snowy landscape. Doesn't feel like a creative situation. Okay, so what the great thing we can do with this oracle is that we can see which hexagram this hexagram is going to move into. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but it's rather clever. We write down the hexagram and we throw some coins, heads and tails. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't got quite the time, or indeed the inclination, to explain exactly how the I Ching works. I will dedicate a whole video to this rather lovely deck. Suffice it to say that I'm going to throw some coins in a special I Ching way, and this is going to tell me which hexagram, because this card represents a hexagram. You see that thing there? And there are 64 hexagrams in the I Ching. I'm going to throw some coins, and those coins will tell me which hexagram this card wants to move into, wants to transform itself into. And this is something that the I Ching does, which no other oracles really do. So I have a new hexagram, ladies and gentlemen, and the new hexagram is this. I consult the book. The new hexagram is number 33, Retreat. Let's find the card, because after all we're doing cards, and the artist has written some keywords for us. A timely departure, letting go, withdrawal, re-evaluation, retirement. And she says, don't hesitate to walk away. And the picture is much less snowy this time. So, Connie, I think putting that all together, you have your inner standstill and you want to move towards this card of retreat and letting go and reevaluation, which for me sounds just very like an artist's retreat. It's what artists do. They go into kind of protected, controlled spaces where the burdens and duties of life are reduced or even eliminated, and then they just take a deep breath and allow the messages from the subconscious to bubble up. You may not be able to, get on a plane and go to a stately home in Ireland where all your meals are cooked for you by servants because you've just won some wonderful artist's grant. Okay, that may not be on the cards, but you might be able to simulate the conditions of an artist's retreat by reducing the burdens, reducing the duties. That's what I'm seeing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Robert Farrah's Tea and Tara, coming to you from Berlin-Neukölln, currently under several inches of snow. I'm putting out videos once a week this year, and if it doesn't kill me, it's going to make me stronger. Bye.